Hello there, I'm Ara, aka I Ate Zebra. In today's video, we're going to be discussing episode 2 of the Bad Batch Cut and Run. Today, I'm going to be breaking down the events of this episode, pointing out a few Easter eggs, as well as some predictions for the next episodes in season overall. So let's get to it. Once I saw the title for episode 2, Cut and Run, I was immediately excited because my prediction from the last video was correct. We opened to the team heading to Sulecami to meet up with clone deserter Cut Luwquane and his family. The team lands on the planet, and Omega, for the first time in her life, gets to experience the great joy of dirt, sunshine, and fresh air, as this is the first time she's been anywhere outside the cloning facility on Kamino. The team reunites with Cut and his family in a touching reunion. We learn that Captain Rex was just there a day earlier and explained to Cut the events of Order 66 and the inhibitor chips. So I was partially correct in my prediction that we would see Rex with Cut. He still went there, so I'll take that as me being right. Anyways, one thing I particularly enjoyed in this scene is that after Cut mentioned Captain Rex, it was Echo that probed for more information on his whereabouts. This is consistent with his character, as he and Rex have history together and both served in the 501st. Cut tells Hunter that he plans on leaving on the next ship off the planet to get him and his family to safety. They then venture into town to purchase tickets to leave within a few hours. While in town, they discover they need to have a chain code along with their ticket to board passage off the planet, as the transition from the Republic to Empire is proving to be more dangerous for them. Cut's sense of urgency to flee and paranoia is heightened. Meanwhile, Omega is learning how to play catch when she plays with Cut and Sue's children. Early prediction here, we're going to be seeing her get excited about plenty of firsts in the series. I would love to see her take on sand. Since Omega is still getting the whole hand-eye coordination together, she misses a throw and the ball goes past their fence. While she's trying to retrieve it, we can spot a Nexu stalking her to attack. We first see a Nexu in Attack of the Clones on Geonosis in the arena when Padme, Obi-Wan, and Anakin are being sentenced to death. Luckily for Omega, Sue and Hunter were there to fend the beast off and protect her. The episode starts to develop the potential father-daughter relationship Omega and Hunter will have throughout the series, as he berates her for putting herself in danger. Thankfully, Cut is able to give him some parenting advice. Meanwhile, Omega decides to sulk in the ship and contemplate her decision as she holds her headpiece in her hand. Tech and Echo try to devise a plan to help Cut obtain the chain codes for his family. Chain codes serve as a form of identification in the Star Wars universe. Chain codes have been brought up in other properties, and the spaceport closely resembles the one in Solo on Corellia. They decide to go for the Trojan horse method by hiding on the ship while it gets impounded so they can infiltrate the command center to fabricate the documents for Cut, his family, and Omega. With the exception of Wrecker, the other members of the team believe it would be the best for Omega to stay with Cut, Sue, and their children to lie low and be raised by a loving family. The plan starts to go well until they realize Omega was also stowed away on the ship. Once the ship arrives in the spaceport, we see Echo hack into the server using his new socket arm, similar to what we see R2-D2 and other droids use on past missions. They're able to get the chain codes, however things go awry once they are spotted by the clone troopers stationed there. As a firefight ensues, Omega is able to slip off and provide the 5 chain codes to Cut, Sue, and their 2 kids, but points out there is an extra. That is when Hunter tells Omega that he wants her to go off with the Luwquanes to start a new life for her safety. She reluctantly listens and starts to go off with them to board the ship, leaving Sulecami. Tech and Echo are continuing to fight back the clone troopers when Hunter and Wrecker arrive to help them out so they can all escape. While this is happening, Cut has a very close call when a clone trooper stops him because he looks like one of them. But he is saved when they are summoned to reinforce the troopers fighting back the Bad Batch. In the midst of this chaos, Omega slips off to go back to meet with the boys. Wrecker, being the brute that he is able to break off the restraint that is keeping them from taking off in their ship. Omega, just in the nick of time, reunites with them when she is grabbed by a clone trooper. Thankfully, Daddy Hunter was there to save the day again. In a touching moment, she tells Hunter that she chose to go with them for a reason, and he decides to not try to pawn her off on anyone in the future and fully take her under his wing. The team takes off and heads on to their next adventure. And with that, the episode ends. I really enjoyed this episode because we not only were able to reunite with the character from the Clone Wars, but we get further insight to the transition from the Republic to the Empire. In the original trilogy, the Empire was akin to many dictatorships throughout history, which we can see alluded to here when Tech points out how the Empire is now able to control everyone in the galaxy's whereabouts by assigning them numbers. Echo points out how clones wanted to be given names, and now everyone else is signing up to become a number, which I find to be very illuminating to see the clones' perspective on the situation due to the fact that they are assigned numbers at birth. And one of the things that I love about the series is it takes them from being just a number to individuals by creating their own names. Star Wars, for the most part, features and centers around coming of age stories, as we have seen in the movies with Luke or Anakin. In the Clone Wars, we have Ahsoka. Rebels has Ezra, and The Mandalorian has Grogu. One thread most of these characters have in common is that they are all Force sensitive. I believe Omega is also Force sensitive, as we have been seeing subtle hints in the past 2 episodes of this. I believe that she is a strand cast of Jango Fett and a Jedi, as an early experiment for the Kaminoans on making Force-sensitive clones. I do not believe she shares any DNA with Palpatine at this point. At first, I thought she might, but after further review, I believe this was a decision made solely by Lama Su and Nala Se. Cut points out in this episode that every clone is created with a purpose, and I believe that is what Omega's is. I plan on releasing a separate video going more in depth on this theory. We are getting 14 to 16 episodes for this season. With that being said, I do not believe Captain Rex will appear in the next episode, but sometime between episodes 4 and 8. We are still expected to see Fennec Shand at some point, and definitely more Tarkin and Crosshair will be crossing paths, no pun intended, with the rest of his crew. I'm still sticking with my prediction that Gregor and Wolf will appear at some point, if not in this season, at least by season 2. Due to their appearance in almost every Star Wars property, I would not be surprised if we have a run-in with everyone's favorite droids, C-3PO and R2-D2. If we do see them, I believe they will be either accompanied by Bail Organa or Captain Ramus Antilles, not to be confused with Wedge Antilles. Even though it is a bit early on, I would love to see another member of the Ghost Crew pop up in the show, maybe a young Hera Syndulla, seeing as Ryloth is visited a lot in the other animated series. We did get Kanan already, so I'd love to see the show touch upon how they got together before meeting with Ezra. Well, that about wraps it up for today's video. Be on the lookout for my separate video coming out on my theory regarding Omega's parentage. If you have your own theories on Omega's purpose or who she may be a clone of, please drop it down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more content when it drops. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.